Hello everybody, my name is LoserMag, and today we are going to be finishing up the 3-part series on how to get the 100%er Master Calling card. Part 3 today, we'll be covering weapons equipment and prestigious. Now, this part's going to work a lot differently than the previous two parts because we're basically combining both of these masters to basically merge it into one master. Because otherwise you have to be doing like 70,000 kills here and 60,000 kills here, and I'm not about that, so we're going to combine these as much as possible. But we can't necessarily just cover all these at once and then cover all these at once like my regular formula in the previous videos. We're basically just I'm going to show you one card here and show you another card here, and we're going to keep going about it that way. So it's basically going to make this a little bit different, but relatively the same process. We're getting two masters once again to finish up 100%er, which I can now showcase here because the glitch has been released. So here we go. The thing I wanted to mention is first off, there's going to be basically one class for most of these cards. The only difference in classes we're going to have is later on when we have to complete these 5 cards, and then, of course, these 5 as well. So, but there's still going to be, like, the same process as before with most of these cards. But the one class you're basically going to be using the whole time is this class right here. So, I guess I'll go over it really quickly. Time Slip, you want it for mystery boxes to make it quicker. Fast travels to make it quicker. Equipment comes up quicker. It's all just really nice. Time Slip. Now, Time Slip is the only one of this whole class set that I can say is replaceable. You can replace it with anything you want. But I think Time Slip is just the best because it just makes everything a lot easier. So I just usually use Time Slip. But once again, this is the only replaceable perk. You won't need Quick Revive because you have bots. You won't need Dying Wish because you have bots. You won't need Electric Burst because you have bots. You won't need Stone Cold Strong because you have bots. You won't need PhD Slider because you have bots. Winter's Wail because you have bots. Victorious Tortoise because you have bots, etc. You're going to be completely fine. You need no protective gear. So this is only for convenience, basically. It makes it everything faster for convenience, more ammo for convenience, quicker running for convenience, and of course Deadshot Dealer for more damage. So anyway, the next perk you want is Bandolier Bandit for more ammo, as I had mentioned. It's just overall very good. It makes it to where you can last longer with your weapons that you want to use during your games, and especially with the weapons we're going to have to use during these games. So more ammo equals good. Stamina up. You can switch these out to make at the beginning of the map when you can have stamina up to make you run faster throughout the whole place. I only do Time Slip here because it's like the cheapest one, and I never really buy my perk before I explore the rest of the map. I usually get these 3 perks before even buying this one because of the method I use where I temporal gift a double points and then go turn on the power as quick as possible and then go up to the catwalk and slay as many foes as I can with my Path of Sorrows. That's always how I do things. It's always how I get like 20,000 points at the beginning of the game, and that's why I usually skip this to prolong my double points. So it really doesn't matter what you have in Time Slip, or sorry, Brew, but you can replace these, any one of these if you want. If you want more ammo at the beginning, if you want to run faster at the beginning, or if you just want faster travels to come up faster and faster mystery boxes, whatever you want. You can put whatever you want in this slot or any of these slots. But stamina up, of course, like I said, in the 3rd slot, whatever. You want stamina up because you run faster and everything like that. And the Deadshot Dealer is absolutely mandatory because you have more damage, and if you stay on that headshot streak, I will read this because a few people had trouble with this, but basically you just gain a damage boost when you're on a headshot streak, which means if you get headshots in a row, it will go up in increments with red bars on screen. And then eventually, once you have enough, it'll turn glowing red. It'll just start glowing red and flashing on and off. That means your modifier is complete and it's ready for its damage boost. And that is basically what you want to keep for the rest of the game. If you lose it, don't worry, just go back on your headshot streak and get it back. But basically, you want to keep that thing glowing red as long as possible. Just keep getting headshots, that's what I basically recommend. And you'll do so much more damage and last a lot longer in your games. That is why this is the best in this slot. Elixirs. Anywhere but here and Temporal Gift, that's all I recommend. You basically need these 2. This makes everything faster, or it can if you get lucky. But most of the time you will get lucky, because whenever you use this, it's mainly to get back to the spawn, to get to the New Industries room, and it usually always puts me there, so I don't know why it works like that. I think the map is actually glitched, but whatever. I like it, and it puts me always there when I want it to. So, and Temporal Gift, because you always want to extend your double points or your fire sales during your games, or insta-kills later on, but whatever. Temporal Gift is basically a must. And then these 2 can be anything you want. I always have equipment because in the beginning of the game, If my double points doesn't show up on an early round, I can use as much Wraith Fire as I need to take all the kills from the bots. So I use equipment just in case. And then head scan, because eventually it gets really hard for some guns to get headshots in the later rounds. So I just use head scan when I absolutely need to. You don't want to use head scan any sooner than when you basically absolutely need it, because it'll take forever to come back up, and then it's just basically a useless slot. But I just wait till I absolutely need it and then turn it on. And the Path of Sorrow is absolutely mandatory. You want Path of Sorrows. Wraith Fire, I would say it's mandatory, but if you don't have it, that's okay. And Strife, absolutely mandatory. I'm sorry, but if you don't have it, it's going to make your life so much worse and make this whole process so much longer. So, I know this intro is a lot longer than usual, but that's basically the class you're going to have for the whole time when we're doing these challenges, except, like I said, eventually we will change it up when we get to these 5 cards. So, without further ado, oh, and I also wanted to mention, of course, you want, this is basically like my how to level up fast video, but you want 3 bots on the map, Blood of the Dead on casual. Casual is always what you want to be on for these 2 calling cards, completely, forever, always on casual. And Blood of the Dead is basically the map you're going to use the entire time until we get, until we get to these 5. On these 5, we'll go to a different map, and on these 5, of course, like I said, the classes will change. So there will be some changes in this video, but basically most of the time we're going to be on Blood of the Dead, casual with 3 bots, and this is the class we're going to use. Okay, so now that I've cemented that, here we go. We're going to get into the first part of the video. So, without further ado, enjoy part 3. The first calling cards we are going to be doing, I've decided to make it to where we're going to put Gunslinger and Up Close together. We're not going to match it with any one of these because there are better ways to do it to match it up with the other cards. So I decided just to match up 2 cards at once, we're going to use the Stiletto Knife. Looky there. Now you have to have the Stiletto Knife. Now you have to. If you haven't had it already, then now's the time. And then Gunslinger is pistol kills. We're going to use, of course, more than the Strife to get all your pistol kills because it's 10,000 compared to 1,000 bayonet kills, or Stiletto Knife kills. But basically, these are the 2 cards I'm going to go over first. So that is Gunslinger and Up Close. So let us get into it. You have to be level 24 before you start the Strife leveling up. You can't level up your Strife until you're level 24. We'll put this at the beginning of the clip just in case, but do not start leveling up your pistol until you're level 24 because you can't get camos or anything. Once you're level 24, then start this whole process. Okay, so for these 2 calling cards, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to level up your Strife until you have the Stiletto Knife. Now doing this, you'll actually start getting kills towards your Gunslinger right off the bat. And it'll be about, I believe, 800 to 1,000 kills towards Gunslinger because it's going to take a while for you to level up your Strife entirely. This is the first game ever in which I've taken off my Stiletto Knife, so I decided to prestige the weapon just for this video, just to see what it was like and see how long it would take. So I did, and yes, it took me about an hour to level up my weapon. And you basically want to do this with bots because it took me 2 hours. I prestiged it twice. It took me 2 hours on solo. It took me 1 hour on bots because I believe you level up your weapons faster on bots. So you want to do that for sure. So you just play a regular Blood of the Dead game. Once again, I'll have a link in the description on how I play every one of my games. Wraith Fire at one window, headshots in another. Only instead, since this will be different from the video that is linked in the description, basically the only difference you're doing is you're getting headshots with your Strife instead of getting Stiletto Knife kills since you don't have it yet. So basically, if you don't have Wraith Fire also, you don't have to worry about one barrier. Just go to one barrier that you think will have more zombies, get headshots there, and let the bots take care of the other one. I just use Wraith Fire because it gives me extra points and more kills towards my sword for later. Basically, just get headshots in this area though, like I said, downstairs, and just instead of Stiletto Knives, you just get headshots. That's the only difference with the early rounds. Once you have a double point, this is the part where you want to start moving. Once you have double points, you're going to want to use a temporal gift before the double points. So that's when I usually use temporal gift on about round 3 or 4. Always do that because the bots will pick up the double points before you can get your temporal gift on, and then you have to restart the game because you do not get enough points. Basically, like I always say, if you get an early double points, end the game, or if you get a double points without temporal gift, end the game, because it's just not worth it. Your game will be so much slower. Just make sure you temporal gift your double points, and then move on to turning on the first power switch. Once you've turned on the first power switch, move on to the catwalk and do the same method I always say, in which you take out your sword, kill the first 2, and just run through the whole catwalk and slash and dash, whatever, all the zombies until you get to the end. Once you're at the end, you'll have a level 2 sword, and then you'll also have a lot of points. Open up the rest of the map, get to the second power switch, get all the shield parts, kill the warden, whatever, get all the shield parts, build the shield, get all your perks set up for your entire game, and the pistols, the pistols of choice you're going to want for the game is Strife and the RK7 Garrison. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second. The RK7 Garrison. You have those two guns, and you want to pack-a-punch those as much as you can, and then you're ready to go, and you're set up for the rest of the game. Basically, you're going to want to focus on the Strife, however, to get the stiletto knife, and then you're going to basically just go from there. So, I recommend getting about 15,000 points. In this gameplay, by the way, I used the Garrison and the Strife right at round, I get the Garrison whenever. Right at round 7, I buy the Garrison and start using it. You don't really need to do that. You can just buy any gun you want to get points, and then get enough points to buy the Garrison and then pack-a-punch it, etc., etc. I just decided to challenge myself for some reason. Or I think I was just thinking, only stick with pistols so we can get the most points towards the calling card as much as we can. The Garrison is not that good, though, so it's kind of hard to get points with bots using better guns to get kills. So I wouldn't recommend the Garrison in the early rounds. But basically, get 15,000 points and then go up to the roof, and once you're at the roof, pack-a-punch your Strife 5 times. So once you've done that, now you can just focus on Strife kills with headshots and everything, and getting that up to stiletto knife tier. During this as well, you'll get another 15,000 points, whether you do it before or after you get the first one pack-a-punched. I did it after. I just got enough points on the roof with my sword to get enough points before the pack-a-punch would move. And before it moved, I pack-a-punched my Garrison 5 times as well. And doing that will make it to where I'm set up for the rest of the game with pistols. The reason I ask you to get the Garrison as well is because eventually you're going to run out of ammo in your Strife, and you're not going to have any max ammos, and there's no Strife wall buy. So you're basically just going to switch to your Garrison and start focusing on getting pistol kills for your pistol calling card. And that's basically the method I went with. But eventually, I got enough kills to the point where I got my stiletto knife in the game, and then right then and there, I ended the game. Now, you don't have to do that, but I just wanted to focus strictly on stiletto knife, and since I have these cards, there's no point in continuing the game. But you can end the game if you want, just to focus on stiletto knife kills after that, and put all your attachments on all your guns, and you might also have RK7 attachments as well. You want to put all those attachments on your gun, and then continue the game after that with really decked out guns, and you also have that stiletto knife once again, so you get it's way easier in the early rounds. But after that, you just go into bot games once again and just continue getting kills from there. And that's basically the method on how you get these pistol kills and stiletto knife kills. You can also grind for the up-close calling card, in which you can just get 120 kills in the early rounds and then end the game and do this process 9 times, I think. It might be 10 times. I don't know math. I'm sorry. But basically, I just knife all the zombies from round 1 to 6, and on round 6, I save a zombie, and that zombie will then follow me, and I'll turn on the power. You don't have to worry about double points because you're not really getting points for this setup. But I turn on the power, and then I go up to the catwalk, and I get ready to go through the catwalk. But instead of using my sword, I'm going to use my stiletto knife to get all those extra kills, and then end my game. But basically, I do actually take out my sword and put it back as quick as I can to get extra armor, and that'll make it to where you'll be more safer on the catwalk since it's kind of hectic. And you cannot kill the zombie behind you, because if you kill the zombie behind you, it'll end the round, and any zombies that spawn after that round change will probably have more health than your stiletto knife can handle. So that's why be careful with that. You can do the catwalk as early as you want, honestly. I just did it on round 6 because that's why not. And I killed all the ones on the catwalk very easily. Dogs were one hit too. With my stiletto knife, and at the end of it, I had 120 kills, and I ended the game. And you can basically do that 10 times if you want to grind for the up-close calling card. You don't have to do that, though. I'm just saying that's one of my recommendations for getting that card fast. But you don't have to do that. You can just do it passively, because 10,000 pistol kills is a lot. You'll probably play a lot of games and only get 2,000, 3,000 kills towards your pistols, and then want to have to end the game because the pistols are not strong enough anymore. And because of that, you might actually play enough games to get enough stiletto knife kills. However, I just want to also tell you that stiletto knife kills count as pistol kills as well. If you kill a zombie with a stiletto knife, it'll count as a pistol kill on top of that. So that's really nice as well, because while you're grinding for the 1,000 stiletto knife kills, you're also grinding for the pistol kills as well. So I know that's an information flood, but I've had so much trouble recording this clip. So, but anyway, hopefully that helped. We'll move on to the next cards. Okay, and that was Gunslinger and Up Close. The next ones we're going to be doing is Shotguns, Shots All Round, and we're combining that with Bring the Pain, because Bring the Pain has Dragon Breath, and Dragon Breath is combined with the Mog. So, we're going to do that as the combination for these next two cards. The thing is, though, Mog is unlocked at level 50, so it's going to take forever in order to even start leveling up this weapon to get to the operator mod in order to combine these two cards. You'll probably have a lot of shotgun kills before then. It's going to be kind of hard to combine them. But Prestigious is unlocked after prestiging. So what I recommend is right when you hit Prestige 1, you use your unlock token to get the Mog. Because the rest of these can be unlocked by other means. I mean, there is the GKS, which is somewhere in here, which we're going to use later. The GKS is level like 40-something, so that's going to be bad too. However, I'm going to try to time it to where you'll be at these levels eventually anyway for these cards. But Prestige your Mog, because that's probably the highest level the highest level weapon you have to Prestige other than the Koshka, which we'll go over later. But basically that's just what I recommend on your first Prestige. If you're doing all of this, getting the XP for all of this to go to more prestigious, just Prestige your Mog, and that's all you have to do. However, if you're just at level 55, no prestige, or first prestige, because you have to be. If you're at first prestige, and you don't want to, you're at level 55 and you don't care to go any further than that, that's fine. Then you can just level up your weapons from there. That's completely a better way to do it, honestly, but you won't get any XP for the rest of your prestiges. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so now these two calling cards, this time we're solely focusing on the Mog. So you're going to do all your early game stuff as usual. Keep reading the same point. Once again, link in the description for what I do in the early rounds of Mob of the Dead. Blood of the Dead. But during this time, you're going to want to pick up the Mog at some point and then just go throughout the map, buy all your perks set up completely, and just use the Mog from there. So the Mog is a little bit different when it has no attachments in that it's not that good. But what I basically did, I might show some gameplay, it might be irrelevant, I'm not sure what happens, but I shoot some shots. I always try to get headshots with the Mog, because yes, that is a thing you can do. You can get headshots, and it makes it much better. You just stick to headshots, but it's kind of hard because you miss a lot. But basically, you stick to headshots, and then if you are running out of ammo constantly, you can just reload a few shots, and then just continue shooting from there. That's kind of the flow I got. I would just reload like 2 or 3, kill the zombies in front of me, then reload, then kill 2 more or something, and then reload. And I just constantly be reloading. That's because I sometimes it takes a little bit too long to reload like all 6 shots when you don't have a pack-a-punch. So it's a bit of an issue, but that's basically how I got around that on the early the early rounds. Or you can just take out your sword, or you can buy the GKS, whatever you want to do. You can get points a different way in the early round. You don't have to use the Mog. I just used it because why not? Or if you want to make your game a little bit shorter before you get Dragon's Breath, I just use the Mog all the way. But basically, you're going to get 15,000 points, and since you only have 1 gun to work with, you're only pack-a-punching 1 gun 5 times. So, makes it a bit easier. So you just go to the pack-a-punch, open that up, and then pack-a-punch your Mog 5 times. There will be a Brutus, so you're going to have to kill him with that. And then once you have that completely pack-a-punch, go back to New Industries and just start getting kills. Because now you reload 4 shots per, every time you reload 1, it's going to reload 4, which is pretty nice. So every time you reload, you get 4 shots. So you can do that twice still, and then instead of shooting twice and then reloading twice, you can just shoot 8 times and then reload twice. So it gets a lot easier when you pack-a-punch it. But basically after that, you're just going to play a game of Blood of the Dead, get as much kills as you can with all the bots around you because it makes your gun level up faster. And once you see the Dragon Breath operator pop on screen, end the game immediately. Because then you can much more accurately line up both calling cards together if you end the game as quick as possible right when you see the Dragon's Breath. Don't get a kill more, just end it. And then leave once you're out of the game, put the Dragon's Breath on. It's going to take 2 slots because the glitch was patched. So I just recommend Speed Reloader. Those two, you can actually put both Speed Reloader attachments, Rapid Fire, and then Dragon's Breath, and then there you go. Now you can start getting kills towards the other calling card in the prestigious category. I'm not remembering the name at the moment. Bring the Pain, I think it is. So that's it. That's basically all you got to do. And I just suggest using the Mog. And you can also reload, or when you're out of ammo, you can also go out here. As you can see, I have gameplay right here. You can just go right outside the New Industries room and buy ammo right off the wall because you'll probably be out of ammo quite a lot, and max ammos can't help you for that long. So basically, you can take out your sword and maybe, get out there faster so you don't die while trying to get your ammo back. And then you can get your ammo, but you'll have to put the sword away, unfortunately, to get ammo. But by then, you'll have ammo, and then you can just shoot your way back into the room again of New Industries. Bots will cover you as well, so that'll be completely fine. But that's basically how you get ammo back, and you just get kills with the Mog. It's very simple, and then you'll get both of those cards eventually, because it's going to take you a long time. Okay, and that was shots all around, and Bring the Pain. The next ones we're going to be doing are like a 3 combo this time, which is Assault Shaker, Subversive, and accelerated firing, because accelerated firing has the wildfire and the echo fire. So we're basically doing a 2-in-1 situation here, which I have mentioned before, but basically the Maddox, you have echo fire, and I have prestige that weapon ever since. Same thing with this one. But wildfire, which is the... What is this called again? The Spitfire. Okay, so... Sorry, I forgot the name. But anyway, we're going to be doing those now. And the differences with this is that you're going to be done with... I believe you're going to be done with this one well before you're going to be done with these two, which is the only difference from all of these. Because usually you're going to be done with these two before the matching ones here. However, you're going to be... I'm combining all these because it's just kind of the best way. There's 6 of these, 7 of these. So it's kind of the only way you can really do this. So, you're basically just going to be doing the same concept. You're leveling up 2 weapons this time. Once you've leveled up your Maddox all the way to Operator Mod, you're also going to level up your Spitfire all the way to Operator Mod. End the game, and then you're going to repeat the process where you just get kills until you have accelerated firing, and then from there you can then focus on Assault Shaker solely and then Subversive solely, or you can just keep, you know, doing both of them at the same time. So that's basically how we're going to go about this. And even, I'm sure people might be wondering, couldn't you also do the same concept with, you can have like shotguns, and then you could have like let's say tactical rifles. You can have that in your loadout and just start getting kills with those. Once you run out of ammo with one, you can go with the other. The only reason I'm not saying do that is because it's really better to combine it with one of these cards, and there's only certain ways to combine specific guns with specific cards. That's why I'm basically doing it like this. And when I did it like this, it was so much faster than like trying to combine all these and these at the same time. It's really kind of hard to do it that way, so I'm just sticking with what I did, and it didn't take me that long. So the only one that took me forever was this one and the snipers, but we'll get on to that later. Anyway, let's get into these cards. So for the Spitfire and Maddox, you're going to play Blood of the Dead and do the usual stuff. You know, double points, temporal gift, double points, power switches, perks, shield, everything. You're going to set up completely for the game. While you're on your way to the second power switch, however, you're going to pick up the Spitfire. And then you can fend yourself off with a Spitfire now, which is not usually what I do. I always fend myself off with a Strife, but in this case, you can actually fend yourself off with a Spitfire. Once you've picked up the Spitfire, you're basically, once again, going to go around and do all the things you need to do to set up. But on your way back to the new Industries room, you can also pick up the Maddox down here. So once you've gotten that, you basically just can get kills with both of them as much as you want. You can focus on one or the other. I would recommend the Maddox on the early rounds because the Maddox is just stronger and the bots won't take as much of your kills, because the Spitfire with barely any attachments is not very accurate and it doesn't do that much damage. So I wouldn't exactly recommend using the Spitfire at first. And I'll go over later a method you can actually use to level up the Spitfire really quick. But basically, once you have enough points, 15,000 or 30,000, one of the two, you're going to go up and you're going to pack a punch, one of the two. Or, yeah, one of the two, doesn't matter once again. And once you have 15,000 more points, if you didn't have 30,000 points in the first place, you can pack a punch your next gun. So make sure both are pentapapped. And once that's ready to go, you can just go back in the new Industries room and start getting kills in there. Just get as much headshots as you can, because that's basically what's going to level up your weapons faster. And once you see the Operator mod for one of the two, switch to the other, and then get the Operator mod for that as well. I have been easily able to get 2 Operator mods in one game. In this game specifically, I was actually on level 12 with the Maddox, but you can easily get both operators in one game, especially with bots. For the Maddox's ammo situation, if you run out of ammo on the Maddox and you still need kills with that gun specifically, and there's no Spitfire wall buy is really far away, so you can't really do that. So you're out of Maddox ammo and you still haven't leveled it up fully. You can either just switch to your Spitfire and continue from there, or if you're out of ammo for both, you can actually use the quick travel right here, and then you can go all the way back down below the cafeteria, and you can pick up the MOG ammo right there. Maybe use your sword to travel there faster. That's usually what I do. And then go running all the way back to the fast travel and get back to the new Industries. That's basically how I replenish my Maddox ammo. Now, if you decided to focus on the Maddox first, then you'll be on the Spitfire. But if you decided to focus on the Spitfire first, you'll realize that you're going to run out of ammo a lot, and it's going to be a lot harder to get the Spitfire leveled up than the Maddox, since the Maddox's ammo pickup is a lot closer. So I actually have a method on leveling up your Spitfire specifically really fast. Now, this is the method right here. It's extremely dangerous, okay? It's not very safe. You might go down a lot, and that's bad, because you need your perks. However, in this situation, I didn't get very many headshots because the Spitfire is just very weak. and it has so much recoil, so headshots are really hard with the weapon. So I mainly just like, you know, hip fired and just tried to hit as many heads as I could. So even if you do lose your perks, the bots will revive you instantly. But even if you do lose your perks, you might actually not necessarily need perks, but they're gonna help greatly. So methods on making sure you stay alive longer is when you're reloading, you can turn around and let them hit your shield. If they're really ganging up on you, you can take out your sword and push them all away and gain yourself some armor. As well as you can just slash them for a little bit, slash with your sword, just in case it's really bad. Or you can spray on the head with hip fire. You can just keep spraying like I did in this clip. You just spray as much as you can. Hopefully you live. You can throw down a what do you call that? A Wraith fire. You can throw down a Wraith fire if you wish, if you have it. And so on and so forth. There are many ways you can protect yourself, but if you go down, then that's unfortunately how it's going to have to be. So it's going to be a little harder, but it's actually really fast because the strife ammo is like right here. You can take your sword out and travel all the way to the strife ammo, pick it up, and then run all the way back, get to the back of the room so the bots come into the room, and once they're in the room, you go all the way back up to the doorway and make sure they're trapped. I didn't mention that at first, but you can actually trap the bots behind you so they'll do your dirty work for your back, and sometimes when there's nothing in the back for them to cover, they actually cover you in the front. So that's another thing you can save yourself with. If there's a zombie gang up in that doorway, bots can help you as well. So with all that, that's just a really way to level up your strife or your Spitfire because ammo's right there, and it's also a really fast spawn area, and you can get kills really quickly. This almost competes with New Industries, except just because of how many times you could possibly go down, especially because of the wardens as well. Because of those issues, I just recommend using New Industries, but you could do this if you want from now on. It's actually, I think it's faster than every method I can think of at the moment, but I may be wrong about that. Anyway, also for Brutuses, basically if a Brutus comes, you're going to have to just back up because you can't take them on. And for dog rounds, same thing. You're going to have to back up. Those dogs will destroy you. So that's all the little quirks about that setup. But that's basically how you can level up your Spitfire fast. And once you're done with that, once you're done leveling up both of them to operator mods, whether you did in one game or 2 games, whatever, just end the game, put your modifiers on, or your mods on, and then go back into a game and repeat the whole process until you have the Subversive, the Assault Shaker, I think, and then the Assault Shaker. Oh, I get it. I think I get it. And then as well as Accelerated Firing. So once you're done with all that, then you can move on to your next cards. Okay, that was Assault Shaker, Subversive, and Accelerated Firing. So the next ones we're going to be doing is Suppressing Fire and Disorientation. This is an LMG, and the LMG we're going to be using is the Titan, which is right here, with the mod Oppressor, which I've explained previously, or I'll explain it right now. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it, but basically we're just going to be using the Titan, and what you're going to do with the Titan is instead of going to the New Industries, we're basically going to go to the staircase instead. So that's the only change we're doing right now, but I will show you what I mean in a little bit. But basically this is just LMG kills. You get enough kills to where you have the operator mod, leave the game, and then match it up with this one by putting the operator on. So let's get into it. I wanted to quickly mention as well, there is a little bit of a class change. This is the new class we're going to be working with on the staircase. I just called it like alt main. So basically the only changes is there's no stamina up, and we're replacing it with Stone Cold Stronghold to increase our damage on the staircase. That's pretty nice with this setup. So as well as actually I think that's it. So that's the only change we made. So just want to mention that really quickly. Okay, so basically for this one, like I mentioned, you're just going to be on the staircase. But once again, play Blood of the Dead, casual bots, temporal gift double points, turn on the power switches, build your shield, get all your perks set up for high rounds, etc., etc. Once again, link in the description on how to do all that. I'm only saying this every single time because just in case somebody uses timestamps, I kind of want to mention it every time. Anybody who timestamped to this part of the video, if you want me to go more in depth about what I'm talking about before each clip, then just go back to the beginning of the video, you know what I mean. But so basically just get set up on really high rounds and get yourself the Titan off the wall for 3,750 right behind me, and basically just ADS as much as possible and try to get as much headshots as possible to level up your Titan. In this gameplay, of course, I have the attachments on it. Kind of forgot to take them off, but the only difference is you, with no attachments, you won't have as much ammo in one clip. You'll be reloading more often, and you won't be able to ADS as fast as I do. as well as you won't be slowing down zombies. But that doesn't really matter. Trust me, the Titan is basically the exact same even without all the attachments. Just the extended mag. Both extended mags make a huge difference, but that's it. So, but basically I'm just ADSing and killing all the zombies. The reason I don't use New Industries, because I would. The reason I don't is because the wall buy is right behind me, so I can just buy ammo right whenever I want. And so I can just use this gun solely the whole time. So this is also a really fast way of leveling up the Titan, in which you'll probably literally be done before the 20s. Well, not before the 20s, sorry, you don't level up that fast. You'll literally be done before the 30s, because in my last game with the Spitfire and the Maddox, that took me until like the late 30s, so... And that wasn't even 2 guns, that was 1 gun and a half, basically. So yeah, you'll be done before the 30s probably with the Titan, then you can end your game, and then come back with the Oppressor, and continue it from there. I want to mention right now that I want to mention right now that you can combine this with another set of calling cards later in the game. You can actually combine this with the headshots with Stone Cold Stronghold, headshots with Deadshot in the tonic slot, and headshots with Mule Kick. You can combine all of this into one. I want to mention that now there will be a timestamp right on screen when I start to go over those other cards as well, but you can literally combine these if you want. You can combine Suppressing Fire, Disorientation, Mule Kicker, Deadly Eye, and Stone Cold Killer. I wanted to mention that right now because later in the video I do not combine all these, but I realized that you could easily do so because all the rest of those are also going to be on the staircase. So you can literally combine all of these in one, so it's going to be really, really cool later on. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. But yeah, that's it. You're just getting, you know, headshots till you have your operator mod, and it's the same thing over and over. I just want to tell you what the best gun is, and I just want to tell you the best spots and everything like that. So I hope this was helpful. We'll move on now. Okay, and that was Suppressing Fire and Disorientation. The next ones we're going to be doing is kind of controversial, only because of the next card, but we're going to be doing Dead Eye and matching it up with Precision. Now, I've said in the past that this is not the best way to get Precision, but it's the best way to combine these two cards in order to make it to where you don't have to get an additional 10,000 kills somewhere else without combining two cards at once. It just makes it all easy. I set all of them up to where they match with each and every one of these. So Precision, the only way to match it up with one of these is going to have to be with sniper rifles, therefore we're going to have to use Strat Lock. Crossbar is so much better for this, but we're going to use Strat Lock anyway. So, kind of sucks, and this is going to suck, but basically what the Strat Lock is, well, it's a sniper, so you should already realize how much that's going to suck, but it's the Koshka. So the Koshka has Strat Lock on it, and yeah, but basically you have to start out with, of course, no attachments, and you have to get kills that way. And if you decide to go to this level first where you get iron sights, you want, like, right when you see iron sights pop up on the screen, you want to end the game and then come back. That's completely fine. It's just that you have to get lucky to get the Koshka out of the box. I was going to recommend to play Voyage of Despair because it actually has a Koshka wall buy, and the other 2 maps, or the other 3 maps, are bad because Blood of the Dead doesn't have a wall buy on it. IX has too many heavies on it to where you can't really play on there. And I don't even think it has a wall buy. It might, though. And then if you have Classified, it as well has 40%. The whole round is 40% Nova Crawlers, basically. It takes up 40% of the round. And they don't count as any kills towards anything. No calling cards, no kills, nothing. And therefore, that makes it terrible. You cannot do it on Classified because of that reason. I tried it, so it didn't work. It was terrible. So basically, the last option would have been Voyage of Despair solo, and you can just go below deck and buy some ammo and come back up whenever you needed to. But then I just played a Blood of the Dead game, and the clip will play eventually. And I realized actually how good it is with bots and everything, because you can line up tons of shots in the hallways and stuff of New Industries, and you can get tons and tons of headshots and lined up and everything. You get tons of collaterals and everything. So I'm like, actually, you know what? I'm going to change it. I don't think Voyage is actually the best. I think Blood of the Dead with 3 bots is actually the best way to do this. So yeah, I decided to go with that. But no attachments is kind of a struggle. So if you want to end the game when you see iron sights, because this is like the last level, so if you want to end the game when you see iron sights, you can do that as well. The only issue is you have to get this out of the box in Blood of the Dead. There's no wall buy for it. So you're going to take forever to get it out of the box. But eventually when you do, and I've gotten so unlucky with this so many times, but eventually once you do, it'll pay off because you'll get so many kills with this on Blood of the Dead. However, like I said, if you don't want to do that, just go on Voyage of Despair, and you just train around the poop deck or whatever and get kills that way. It's kind of harder, but it it's not that slow. It kind of is, but not that slow. Anyway, so that is what we are going to be doing now. Okay, so now for the Koshka. Basically, same concept as everything. Play on Blood of the Dead, get all your perks, power switches, shield, setup, everything, just set up all the way. As for the early rounds, I recommend using the GKS instead of the Koshka on the early rounds, because the Koshka is going to be a little bit hard to use on the early rounds. You can do the same method as you do in the later game, just lining up those shots and getting them. But if you don't want to do that and you're having trouble getting points, just use the GKS, which is right behind you on the wall. And yeah, you're going to want to do all that, and then pentapap your Koshka, and then you basically just get kills. Okay, so I'm really quickly going to explain what to basically do with the Koshka. As you can see in this gameplay, I'm lining up tons of shots. Actually, in the beginning of the gameplay, I missed quite a lot, and that's one of the issues with the Koshka. It misses by a lot, so you want to get used to that. But basically, right here, I found a spot where you can just line up tons and tons of headshots. So it's like really good on Blood of the Dead, actually. But the only issue is getting out of the box. The only issue is getting it out of the box. But once you finally get over that struggle, it actually pays off. Basically, I have no attachments at the moment, and it's pretty decently accurate. Just the hip fire is terrible, and if you can't get shots lined up well enough, you won't hit your shot a lot. So you just gotta get used to it. It's kind of hard at first, but eventually, once I get all the attachments, or sorry, once you get all the attachments, because I have them all, but once you get all the attachments, basically just end your game and put on strat lock, and then come back in the game, and yeah, you basically have to get the Koshka out of the box again, which will be horrible unless you get really good luck. Instead of getting head scan right there in the elixirs bar, I actually recommend getting fire cell maybe, or no, really, that's it, just fire cell. I recommend putting fire cell in there just so you can get this out of the box easier. So that's basically the recommendation there if you want to do that. But anyway, that's basically it. You just leveled up in the game, come back in with strat lock, and do it all over again until you're done with both 10,000 kill cards. It'll take you a long time, especially with the Koshka. This will be the longest grind yet. That's why I recommend saving it for last. But if you want to do it now, this is basically how to do it really fast. I wanted to mention as well, if you're having trouble with the Koshka or you run out of ammo, you can buy the GKS off the wall right behind you in the new industries room, and so you might as well pack a punch that 5 times as well. Pentapap that so you can help yourself in the later rounds, because if you're out of ammo, then you're going to need something to protect yourself, and I recommend the GKS. It's actually really good. So it's also like right behind you, so it's very useful. I would use that when you're out of ammo in the Koshka, and then whenever you get a max ammo, just focus on the Koshka again. Okay, and that was Deadeye and Precision. I'm so sorry when you have to do that. I'm so sorry for you. It's gonna suck, but you'll make it. If I made it, you'll make it. Anyway, we'll move on finally to Tic-Tac-Toe, the very last one, thank goodness. And we're combining that with burst counts. That is everything, right? Just making sure. I believe so. Okay, so now we're gonna be doing, like I said, Tic-Tac-Toe and burst counts. And basically the gun we're gonna be using here is the Swordfish right here. Because the Swordfish is a really good weapon, first of all. It's one of my favorites. Second of all, it's actually a wall buy very close to the new industries, but this is going to be just about the hardest one to get ammo for whenever you run out. But I will show you a method on how to do that soon. I used to have clips for it, and I was going to use those clips a long time ago, but the recording software for them is bad, so I just scrapped them, but I'll just redo it. It's fine. Anyway, we'll get into this right now. I backed out too far. Fish once again, same concept, same map, same difficulty, 3 bots, etc, etc. Go throughout the map, buy your perks, turn on the power, etc, etc, and build the shield. Everything you need to do to set up, link in the description once again on how to do that if you need any help. And then once you find the Swordfish, which is in the catwalk area, you just buy the Swordfish, or it's after the catwalk area. You buy the Swordfish right here, and then once you do that, you just use it until you have the operator mod. Once again, if you're high near the round 20 or you have 15,000 points, go ahead and pack a punch your Swordfish 5 times, and then just work with it until you have the operator mod. Once that is done, leave the game and come back, and you know the drill at this point. So yeah, so you just get kills until you are done with both cards. Once again, this will take you a long time, but as for ammo, I'll basically show you a clip here. I just take out my sword. You'll have level 2, so this will be way faster. You can dash instead of just run. But I didn't have level 2 because it's custom mutations. I don't want to have to take all that time just to get the Swordfish for a little clip like this. But I take out my sword, I start running through the catwalk, and if there's any zombies in your way, you can slash them, but there usually isn't. and then you go up to the swordfish. You're going to have to put your sword away because you can't buy ammo with your sword out, which is kind of annoying, but once you've done that, you buy yourself some ammo if you need it, because in the early rounds you'll get max ammo still on everything probably pretty frequently, but later you're not going to be able to do that anymore. So once you run out of ammo, you just basically go there and then pick up the ammo and then run all the way back to the new industries. Now it's kind of harder to run back because you don't have your sword this time, but basically just headshot them to get them out of the way and then go all the way back to the new industries area and rinse and repeat, and that's basically how you get ammo for the swordfish. Now, if you don't want to be bothered with getting swordfish ammo, you can use the GKS, which is actually right behind you in the new industries, as long as you have the quad shot on the GKS, because the quad shot also counts towards burst counts. The only reason I don't recommend this is because you can't match it up with tactical rifles, since you will get burst counts well before tactical rifles or tic-tac-toe, because you're going to be killing him with both guns. But if you're strictly going for burst counts, just like that card alone, you can use not only the swordfish with the penta shot, as well as the GKS's quad shot. It doesn't actually mention it on the list for quad shot, but it's there. It works, and you could do that as well. And the wall vise right behind you once again. So I just wanted to mention that as well, and that's it. So just get those kills, and we'll move on to the next one. That is it for all the guns matching up with all the prestigious. So now we're gonna move on to the next cards. That is the longest grind you're ever gonna have to do in zombies. I hope I didn't breeze over it too much. These are just very self-explanatory cards. My only point of making this video was to basically show you how to match up cards with certain other cards and what guns to use, what attachments to use, and what map to play on. That's basically what this video is trying to do. It's just trying to help you, kind of guide you on how to do all of this like as efficiently as you possibly can. So that is all of them. That's all the guns that you can match up with all these cards. And of course, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, it takes a long time to get these cards. A long time. But you'll get there. If I got there, you'll get there. That's all I'm going to say. Because, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're now going to move on to a five-piece, which is going to be Fragged, Meltdown, Wraith to the Finish, Storm of the Sentry, Words, and Front toward Enemy. So these are all going to take place on the same map and take place with the same class probably, and just, yeah, everything's basically going to be the same, and I'm just going to kind of show you how to get kills with all of them, which will be kind of annoying, but anyway, we'll get into this. As well, that this is now the part of the video where the classes start changing. It's not going to be the same class every time, so for these next equipment kills, this will basically be the class. You're just going to need equipment, this and this. So anywhere over here, equipment and temporal gift, that's all you need. You don't really need that. You can put anything there you want. You're going to want time slip. This is absolutely essential. And I recommend stamina up in the modifier as well. And these two would just to save your life, just in case you're going down or whatever. But yeah, these two are kind of essential for this whole setup. Path of Sorrows, always essential. And Stiletto Knife, always essential. So, and then any equipment you're going to be doing at the particular time. And we're going to start out with frags. But this is the class that I'm going to be using for the next, like, 5 clips. And then we're going to move on to another class. But just want to mention that. I decided to do on Blood of the Dead, but I will have basically 5 different training locations you can use if you want, but I really only recommend either the roof or the new industries building. But in this clip with frags, I just throw the frag, you know, and then it'll blow them all up. Very self-explanatory, and if I run out of frags, then I just use equipment. What's nice about frags, I believe, is they'll regenerate 1 before you use all 3, because you just get a whole horde, and that takes a long time. So that's a long time while your time slip's working as well to regenerate your equipment. So you'll basically just have frags the whole time, and you just keep doing that until you have 500 kills. Next thing is Acid Bomb. It's the same concept, just a different training area. Just run around, get a whole horde, and throw the Acid Bomb, and then boom, blows them all up. However, I don't know if this one will regenerate. Like, I think you're going to have to wait for them to regenerate. Okay, and then as for Clan Wars, we're getting into the ones that are pretty hard and pretty bad. Clan Wars, this is a tighter training spot, by the way. This was one of them I don't really recommend because you can see what happens in a bit. But Clan Wars, what's really annoying about them is they can hurt you just like acid bombs and frags can, and you have to get really close to get a whole horde killed. So I go up and try to place a Claymore into a whole horde, and I accidentally proc my Dying Wish because I got way too close. But I did kill them all, so I think it was worth it. I killed all of them, but you don't want to get that close. You don't even want to get anywhere near that close. You just place a Claymore and hope that it kills most of the horde, and then continue from there. But Claymores, you're going to have to spend a lot of time waiting for those to come back up, because you only have 2, and they actually take quite a while to regenerate. So claymores are really annoying, but just got to work with them, get 500 kills, etc., etc. Next would be Wraithfire. Oh, Wraithfire is a breath of fresh air. The only difference with Wraithfire from the rest of them is that you have to lead the whole train into the fire instead of just like killing them all at once with the frag, acid bomb, or claymores. So, but it's easy, and if you actually kill all the horde near a window, all the zombies that spawn from that window will actually come in and you can kill those as well. So I recommend actually finding a spot on the map where you can train and has fast spawns. I can't exactly tell you the best spot is. It might be New Industries, but you just find a place with fast spawns and you just throw the Wraithfire, kill your whole horde, and then whatever spawns from there, you can kill those as well. So it's really useful. And Wraithfires, they regenerate so fast. You never ever have to use an equipment. I promise you. They will regenerate that fast. You get up a whole horde, throw it at the horde, and then watch them die, and whatever spawns dies too. And then once it runs out, you run around again, and by the time you're running around and you got a full horde again, your Wraithfire is already back up. You're not even going to use your second one. I saw that during gameplay, which was crazy to me. I think that's time slip doing its work. So Wraithfire is going to be so easy. Enjoy that one. And then the Sentry guns. Oh my gosh, the Sentry gun needs to be buffed. Like, Sentry gun's what, level 50 something, I think? It is horrible. I couldn't even kill a whole horde with the Sentry gun, one of them. And guess what? You only have one. You have to use equipment to get it back. And then once your equipment's gone and you use the second Sentry gun, you have to probably wait like 5 minutes. I don't know how much it is, but you have to wait a ton of time for one Sentry gun to come back up just to not even kill a whole horde. This one's going to be absolutely horrible, and I suggest doing it last, not only last, but also doing it with something else. Maybe while you're doing your like GKS kills, or sorry, burst counts kills, or whatever one of those you want to combine this with, I recommend doing that, because the Sentry gun's going to take you forever, and it sucks so much, and I honestly hate myself for prestiging it the first time around, and I want to die. Alright, so that's it. That's all 5 equipment. Not too hard. I just wanted to show you the map and kind of what to do, the perk setup and everything. Very easy. You'll get it done fairly fast. Okay, and that is Fragged, Meltdown, right to the finish, Storm the Sentry, and Front Toward Enemy. And that finishes Weapons and Equipment Master. So, that is really nice. However, you definitely won't be done with this one unless you do these last, which I don't recommend doing these last. I recommend doing these last. Do these first. It'll be easier. But if you decide to do these last, then you will be done with Weapon and Equipment Master first, and then you'll be done with this one second. Or you can combine these two and get them basically in the same game, which is kind of cool. But anyway, we're going to move on to finishing up Prestigious. The first one we're going to do is Stab-A-Thon and Atmospheres Electric. Now, I decided to combine these because I think it's a good idea to combine these. It'll make it nice and easy, and so it'll condense everything, because getting 1,000 Bowie knife kills, you have to you can get like 200 plus kills in an IX game with using a certain elixir, which I'll show you later. However, from there, you can just start using the melee buff and just get 500 kills with the Bowie knife like that too. However, I'm going to show you other methods to get this really fast on its own, and to get this pretty fast on its own, as well as show you an alternative method just to credit someone that I wanted to credit for a long time in my comments. That's the only reason why I'm going to make that part of the video. But I'll get into that in a bit. But now let's do this. Okay, class change once again, as well as map change. So we're going to be on Chaos Story this time. Basically, these are elixirs you want. These two are basically essential, and this one's going to be really helpful if you have it, but if you don't, that's okay. And so quick revive. Pretty good, because you're going to need to regenerate health pretty fast a lot. You're going to need to run pretty fast, and you might die a few times, so you might need Dying Wish. And then Electric Burst has to be in the modifier, unfortunately, because that's the only way you get the electric charge with the melee weapons. So we're going to have to use that right there. You want the Hammer of Valhalla. This is essential, as well as the Stiletto Knife. Once again, you don't have to have a Stiletto Knife in every one of these clips, except for specifically the Stiletto Knife one. However, I always recommend it because it's so nice. And then Wraithfire if you have it. So that is it. That's class change, and the map we're going to be playing on this time is Casual IX. So let's do this. The method here is that you just get 750 points, then you open the first door and you activate, well, 760. And I open the door, and I go up to the Bowie knife, pop my elixir, take it, and then I got the Bowie knife basically for free. And then I also go up to the wall where the escargot is, and I buy that as well for free as well. The reason I did that is because if you have the stiletto knife, the Bowie knife will not work. It doesn't activate. It activates the stiletto knife over the Bowie knife, which is really annoying. So you just have to get a second gun without any knife attachments, and you'll be able to use the Bowie knife. So once you have that, you basically just Bowie knife your way until you have enough points to open the whole map and buy all your perks. The issue with this is that's going to take a lot of points. By the end of the, in my gameplay, I got a ton of points, and I still wasn't able to buy my last perk for a little bit. So you're probably going to have to go to a really high round. Once you feel you have enough points, which should be, well, for the perks in total, that would be 12,000, I think. It would be 12,000 points in total just for your perks alone, not including the doors, which the doors would probably cost you an additional, like, 5,000 maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember all the points it took. It's going to take a lot of points, maybe 20,000. So once you have that amount, you can just go and buy all your perks, open the map, and then go all the way back to the regular arena and just start using your electric melee buff. Now, how it works is you have to shoot your entire clip of your gun, reload, and then it will activate your Odin. But it won't start counting down until you melee the first zombie. Once you have meleeed the zombie, it'll then start to work and start to electrocute a few zombies after that. It also makes it to where it's a one knife kill on any round, and you just, the only way to reactivate it again is just unloading your entire clip and then repeating the process. The best gun that I found was on the wall, where you can just replenish your ammo again, is the Garrison. Don't upgrade it, and you'll have like very little clip, and then you can just shoot as much of it out as you want and then reload. I recommend shooting all of it out because it gives you the most of your Odin. Because if you only shoot a 3 burst and then reload, it'll only give you a tiny bit of your Odin. So what you want to do is to make sure that you unload the whole clip. Once you've done that, you can just start knifing him with the Bowie knife, and this gives you a Bowie knife kill and a melee buff kill as well. Atmosphere, electric, and a Stab-A-Thon point to each card. And that's basically how you do it, and you just keep doing that until you have your cards done. And this will take you a while, and you might have to do this in multiple games, but I was able to get it done in one game, at least Atmosphere's electric. I was able to get that done in one game. Another method, you could actually do Atmosphere's electric if you're already done with Stab-A-Thon, or you don't want to combine these. What you could do is you could take out your Hammer of Valhalla. I want to give credit to a person here who thought of this idea. I did know about it, but I didn't really say it in my previous video when I mentioned these cards, so I'm just going to give credit to this guy anyway. Majed.y mentioned that you could use the Hammer of Valhalla while the modifier is activated. So you just unload your clip and you reload, and then once it's activated, you take out your hammer and start going to town on all these zombies. As you can see right here, I kill a Blightfather and some gladiators and regular zombies. I just destroy them because of the combo of the hammer and the modifier. And you can clearly see, even though there's lightning anyway, you can clearly see the lightning is actually working and killing all those zombies. And yes, this does work. I have done it before, and I know it does work. So you can do it like that, and it makes it really fast. However, that's not working towards your Stab-A-Thon, which is your Bowie knife. I just did this so you can combine the two, and so your Bowie knife doesn't crap out on a certain round. You have to end the game and restart. You can just use the electric burst. But that's another method you can do it if you're only going for Atmosphere's electric. Anyway, but, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to show you method 3. Now, this method is made by God himself. It's made by God himself, okay? This man came up with the genius idea on how to do this card very quickly. Now, the credit to a man named Panda is Key, and I'm so sorry that I told you so long ago, what is it, 3 weeks ago now, maybe 4? I told you so long ago that I would give you a shout out, and it just happened to be the very last video where that shout out was going to be on, but I'm giving it to you nonetheless. So, a man named Panda is Key mentioned that you can use the Blundergat, and since the Blundergat has a 1 shot in its mag, you can just shoot it and fully, you can shoot it and complete, damn it, hold on. You can shoot it and completely charge up your modifier, so you have, so once you reload the first shot, it'll be completely charged up, as if it was like a whole mag you just shot out of your clip, which basically it is. So you shoot 1 shot of the Blundergat, and you automatically have your modifier ready to go, which is really cool and makes this actually really fast. And then you can combine it with your Path of Sorrows and start going to town on the zombies, because it works just like the Hammer of Valhalla, only you can definitely see the electricity this time. But yes, you can combine the methods of Panda is Key, the god himself, and Majed.y. You combine these methods and you make Atmosphere electric. You destroy it. You just destroy it. It's so quick and so easy because of these 2 combinations. But I just want to give shout out to those 2 people. I'm sorry, Panda, that this was so late, but there you are. There you go. I hope you enjoy this shout out. But anyway, that's also a really good method as well. But the only reason that's kind of bad is because it doesn't mix with Stab-A-Thon. You cannot get the Bowie knife on Blood of the Dead. But if you're going, like I said, just for Atmosphere Electric, that is the way to do it, in my opinion, is on Blood of the Dead with the Blundergat and the sword. So, that's it for those 2 cards. Okay, and that is how to do, or the methods on Stab-A-Thon and Atmosphere's Electric. There's a lot you can do with this one. Feel free to use whatever one you want to do, whatever method you want. All are good, honestly, but Panda's Keys method is the best. Anyway, so the next one we're going to be doing is Death Slider. So, yeah, there's not much explaining to do with this one. By the way, I did want to mention, when doing all of these, you are able to use Secret Sauce, so you don't actually have to be level 42 for PhD Slider. You can use Secret Sauce instead, and only have to be level 6. And then you just wait till you get PhD from Secret Sauce, because you don't have to be the level for it, and then once you have it, then you can start using it. And it's the exact same thing with Electric, or what is it called, Electric Cherry in this map? It's probably Electric Burst. You could also get it from there. Secret Sauce, you can get that from Secret Sauce. You can get Mule Kick from Secret Sauce, which is level 38. This is level 2, so don't worry about it. And then this is level 18, so you can still use Secret Sauce for this one as well if you want. Anyway, let's get into Death Slider. Okay, once again, we're going to experience a class change, and the change to the class now is PhD Slider will be in the Soda slot, Time Slip, Quick Revive, and Stamina Up. Stamina is pretty important in the Tonic slot. It'll just make this a little bit easier. You want Path of Sorrows, Wraith, Fire, Strife. You want these 2. It doesn't matter what's in between these, but anywhere over here, and Temporal Gift is important, and that's basically the class. And I think we're just going to play in the map IX, because IX is pretty decent for this. You just go around the whole map, buy the perks really quickly, and then you can have a huge area to work with. So we're going to do IX. Okay, so for Death Slider, basically you're just going to play a normal game of IX, or Blood of the Dead, or Classified, whatever map you honestly want to play. You can even play in Rush if you want, because this is very self-explanatory on how to get this card. But just in case anybody's struggling with it, I did want to make a little clip about it, just to help anybody out that I can. So basically, you can play on any map you want. I just did IX because perks are close to each other, the map's small, and you know, it didn't take that long to get set up. It's only round 8 and I'm fully set up. So basically how Death Slider works, that's the calling card again, whoops. Basically how PhD Slider works is you just slide, and then you charge up your PhD Slider. And once that's charged up, you get a full horde, and once that horde is as big as you think is fit, you slide into them and blow them all up. Now, what's the issue with IX is that there are these gladiators, and they don't die by this, like, ever. So I wouldn't actually suggest IX. I just have IX gameplay. I just thought it would be best because it's like a big open area and their spawns are pretty fast. So I thought, why not? But it's probably not the greatest idea because of the gladiators. You probably should do it on Blood of the Dead, honestly, or maybe Voyage of Despair. Either one will work, or you can even do it in Rush, as I was saying. But I don't know Rush very much, so I don't really have any clips for that. Basically, yep, you just keep charging it up, and then you slide right into them and kill them all. The thing with PhD Slider, however, is on round 15, I believe, and up, I believe the PhD Slider doesn't really work anymore. You can't get kills. You can, but you have to do multiple slides, and at that point, it's kind of pointless. You can just end the game and just restart. Classified is definitely the best for doing this, honestly. I did this really quickly on Classified, but it's whatever. If you don't have that, that's okay. You can do it just as well. And if you really want to, you don't even have to get all the perks like I did. Just get PhD Slider and just do it that way, because the rest of these perks are not very needed. You just keep sliding, get hordes, slide into them, and then once the horde is dead, just make another horde. And once it starts not working anymore, it takes multiple slides to kill them, just end the game, restart, get your PhD Slider back, and continue there until you have the calling card. Very simple. Okay, and that is Death Slider. Now, I know it's pretty simple to do, but just in case anybody had any trouble on it, that's basically why I made that tutorial. Alright, the next one we're going to do is Deadly Eye, Mule Kicker, and Stone Cold Killer. Now, this is amazing because I wish I would have done this myself, but all of these work together. Like, they literally are all headshots, and you can put them all as perks on your class. So, and one of them can work as a modifier, and the other ones don't have to be modifiers. So this one was just like, I wish I would have used this. This is going to be really, really efficient on how to get these three, and it's going to happen a lot faster because of this. So let's get into it. Okay, and once again, for the final time, we have a class change as well as a map change. So what we're going to be doing is, or the elixirs we need are Anywhere But Here and Temporal Gift. These two do not matter, although this can be very helpful. Head scan and stock option can also be very helpful. The perks you're going to want are Bandolier Bandit, Mule Kicker, Mule Kick, that's the calling card, Stone Cold Stronghold, and Deadshot Dealer. These don't really matter on placement. You can have, honestly, you can put this here first since it's cheaper. So this can be the cheapest one, and that can be relatively more expensive. We can just move it like that. There we go. So this goes from cheapest to most expensive. This isn't more expensive than this one, but you know, it's whatever. You need this in your tonic slot because that's what the calling card requires. This one is going to be, I mean, all these combined, it just works really well. Anyway, special weapon is Path of Sorrows. Equipment is Wraithfire and Strife, Stiletto Knife. Absolutely important. If you don't have that, that's okay. These two, that's okay if you don't have them, but you need this, absolutely. Anyway, let's get into it, but it's going to be Blood of the Dead casual with 3 bots. Okay, so like I said, Blood of the Dead, casual, 3 bots. Basically, just get yourself set up. For the last time, I have a link in the description on how I set up in Blood of the Dead on early rounds and how I get to this point, basically, so you won't be lost just in case you don't really know how to play these maps or if you don't really know what to do. I basically just give you like a foundation on which to get all these cards. So if you want to watch that, if you need help with that, you can get that in the description. You don't have to watch it though, of course. You can just, if you know how to play Blood of the Dead, it'll be completely fine. So you'll set up, you get all your perks, shield, everything you need, and you'll go to the staircase instead of the new industries this time. On the staircase, you want to make sure your Titan is your 3rd weapon. You want to make sure the Mule Kick sign is above your Titan because the Titan is the wall buy right behind you, so you can get ammo for that gun whenever you want and continue your headshots for as long as you want, because you'll definitely have enough points to get ammo whenever you need to. So once you have your gun completely pack-a-punched, you should have about round 20, most likely. You just start getting as much headshots as possible. Now, how this basically works, I don't know if I explained it already. How this basically works is you just stand there and wait for the blue ring to come around you. That is Stone Cold Stronghold working its magic. And now once you're getting headshots within that ring, you're getting points towards the card Stone Cold Killer. On top of that, you are also getting kills towards Mule Kicker because you are using your 3rd weapon and getting headshots with that gun. And that happens to be the Titan, so you just have like unlimited ammo and you're constantly getting headshots for both those cards. As well as the tonic slot, if it's glowing red and you're getting headshots there as well, you're also getting headshots or points towards Deadly Eye, making it to where all 3 of these coin cards are working simultaneously and you'll basically get all 3 of them at once. But they're not all 2,000 each. I think only 2 of them are 2,000, and one of them's like in between 1,000, 2,000. So it won't all sync up, but your dead shot modifier won't be on all the time, as you can see in this gameplay. So that's kind of an issue there. If you don't know how dead shot dealer works, I guess I'll kind of explain it. I think I have before, but it's okay. Basically, every time you get a headshot, a red bar will fill up on the symbol itself. Once all the red bars have reached the top, it'll start glowing red. When it is glowing red, you will deal extra damage to any part of the body, but mainly headshots. And in order to keep it red, you have to continuously get headshots from then on out. And that's the only way. Whenever it's glowing red, that's the only way you can actually get points towards the Deadly Eye card. It's kind of hard on the staircase to keep it red. In this gameplay, don't worry. It kind of looks like it's never on. But that's because I'm in mutations, and what I did throughout most of my videos is I try to turn mutations and make it mimic casual mode. And so in order to do that, I turn my zombie multiplier, or zombie health multiplier, down 1. But you can only do it down 1 and up 1, so that makes it to where it's a bit lower than casual. So their health is a lot lower than casual. So that's why I'm actually not able to keep up headshots, because I'm constantly killing them in the body. So don't worry about that. You'll keep your modifier up for a lot longer than you think you would. But yeah, that's basically it. Just get headshots with all 3 of those combined, and you're solid. You'll get all 3 of those cards eventually, probably at the same time even. Maybe one of those cards will come up before the other, but it just doesn't really matter. As long as the blue circle's up, your 3rd weapon is the Titan, and you are on that red glow, you are going to get points towards all those cards all the time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, finishes all the cards for Prestigious, as well as... We'll get to that in a moment. Alright, and that is Deadly Eye, Mule Kicker, and Stone Cold Killer, which finishes Prestigious Master, which finishes 100%er. And that is it. Finally done. Okay, so that's the series complete, and that is all the calling cards. That's all of them except for Dark Ops, which I don't know if I'm ever going to cover, but I don't know. We'll see. So that's everything, guys. That's all the cards. That's all the guides I can give you. That's all the knowledge I have. Take it from me, Master Prestige 100%er. Oh yeah, but take it from a credible source. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so that's it. That's all the knowledge I have. I spread it onto you people. I hope I didn't miss anything, and I hope you guys, I hope this helps you a lot. That's all I really care about, is that this helps people. I love getting comments in which people say, like, just a straight up thanks. It's very nice of you guys. But mainly, I don't care about likes, as I said. I don't really care about subscribers. I mean, I guess, sure. But I just really want this to help people. That's it. So, anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps. And that's it. No other words, and that's it, because this took so long to make. So it's such a long series. And shout out to my brother, Carson Tubb, the editor of my channel, because me and him have been on a journey. We've been on a journey to make these videos. It's taken a long time. The editing process is horrible, but we made it through, and hopefully we'll make it through decently well for this last part. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.